Fastlane 8. Lucky bastards play the game. I'm a great believer in luck, and I find the harder I work, the more I have of it. Thomas Jefferson. Pest. Wanna get lucky? I once overheard someone call me a lucky bastard. What a sad, delusional sidewalking belief. I'm not lucky, I'm a player of the game. While Mr. Lucky Bastard Hater uttered that under his breath and sat his ass in the dugout, I was at the plate taking swings. Joe is a sidewalker and believes luck is required to get rich. He spends his days working construction and his evenings commenting on gossip blogs, playing video games, and watching TV. He has given up on his dreams of financial independence based on his ideas of luck. I'm just not a lucky guy, he laments. Joe's brother Bill also has a job in construction, except Bill spends his evenings surfing the internet, researching the newest practices of inventing and engineering. Bill's dream is to be an inventor and has created 4 prototypes of inventions in various fields. Bill also spends his vacation time at trade shows and marketing seminars. While Joe is killing ogres and wizards in the latest Dungeon of Doom, Bill is out of the box of nothingness and exposing himself and his inventions to the world. Who's going to get lucky? Self-made millions arise from self-made luck. Mark Cuban, billionaire entrepreneur and owner of the Dallas Mavericks NBA team, http://www.blogmaverick, told a telling tale of luck in regards to his success. Mark recalls the struggles of his early successes before his big sale to Yahoo for $5.9 billion. In each story, Mark remembers how people attributed his success to luck: lucky to sell his first company, Micro Solutions, lucky to make money trading in the technology boom, and lucky to sell his company to Yahoo for a few billion. Notice how events are quickly reasoned to be luck and process is swept underneath the rug. Cuban understands the dichotomy that most don't: process creates events that others see as luck. He goes on to comment how nobody mentioned luck when it came time to reading complicated software texts or Cisco router manuals or sitting in his house testing and experimenting with new technologies. Where was luck then? Rich people got lucky is a sidewalker's creed and a disempowering belief that strips you of your free will. While luck can create riches by way of lotteries, casinos, and rich parents, it rarely creates long-lasting wealth. To take advantage of the Millionaire Fastlane, understand that luck is a product of process, action, work, and being out there. And when you are out there, you stand a chance at being in the right place at the right time. There are right places and wrong places. The right place isn't on your sofa watching American Idol or slapping greenbacks into thongs at Betty's Booty Cabaret, or down at the neighborhood bar getting jacked up on Bud Light while watching the Cubs lose another game. If you want to be at the right place at the right time, you indeed have to be at the right place, and the right place knows which places are the wrong places. If you aren't off the sidewalk taking action and engaging in process, you will never realize luck. Luck is always perceived to be a matter of event: you win the lottery, you win a sweepstakes, or you find a 200-year-old painting in the attic worth millions. Again, more falsities. Like wealth, luck is not an event but an aftereffect of process. Luck is the residue of process. Sidewalkers love events but hate process. It's only natural for sidewalkers to assume wealth is luck, because they believe wealth is an event. A member of the Fastlane forum, thefastlaneforum.com, recently posted that Bill Gates got lucky. I had to disagree. Luck didn't create Windows. Luck didn't create a company. Luck didn't create repetitive, concerted action toward a specified purpose. When you consistently act and bombard the world with your efforts, interacting with the waves of others, stuff happens. And that stuff? Sidewalkers interpret it as luck, when it is nothing more than action engaged with better probabilities. Luck occurs when probability moves from impossible to likely. For our 2 brothers in construction, who is going to get lucky? The brother who exposes his inventions to the world bends probability in his favor. His lazy brother does not. Force your process out into the world and you can defy the odds of being in the right place at the right time. When I think of luck, I think about poker players. Mistakenly, their craft is construed as luck, while career poker players will affirm it isn't luck, but systematic analytics and player psychology. The best poker players in the world are superior statisticians and interpreters of human behavior. Does luck play a role? Sure, but the role is minor, while player competency siphons the majority's bankroll. To tell a great poker player you're lucky is to hurl an insult. Likewise, to ascribe luck to a self-made millionaire's success is to perform the same insult. To realize luck, engage in processes where better probabilities exist. Luck is introduced when you play. When life is played to win, luck shows its face. Unfortunately, sidewalkers assign luck to events of faith, luck not engaged by process. If you want luck, engage in process, because process raises events from the ashes. Renounce the big hit as your financial plan. Sidewalkers loathe process, so their financial plan omits standard process, such as saving or budgeting, and relies on events. If you believe that luck is the sole source of wealth, you'll gravitate toward events of luck, a diligent quest to finding the big hit. What's a big hit? Big hits are sudden miracles that create wealth fast. Lotteries, casinos, poker tournaments, heck, even frivolous lawsuits and defrauding the government are considered avenues to the big hit. In effect, big hits are attempts to bypass the wealth journey and start at the finish line. It's the removal of your yellow brick road and the sharpening lessons that come from it. Sidewalkers seek big hits because their belief systems tell them wealth is an event. Unfortunately, big hits are long shots and violations of true essence. Do you believe in miracles? Sidewalkers do. Why do reality TV competitions such as American Idol attract so many people when most of the contestants suck? These people are searching for that elusive big hit. While the talented make it through, they have talent because they have process. The disqualified bemoan off the set, blaming Simon Cowell, the microphone, or some other insignificant factor for their failures. Singing "Someday Over the Rainbow" a few times in the shower doesn't make a process. Getting swindled, a sidewalker's temptation. Order now for just 3 easy payments of $39.95 and I will teach you how to make millions working just 40 minutes a week while hanging upside down on a trapeze in your basement. Yes folks, it's that easy. But wait, there's more. Order today and, as a bonus, you'll receive photos of this buxom woman right here next to me. Doesn't she look great? When you start making money like me, ladies like her will be ringing your doorbell at all hours of the day. Yes, folks, this system is awesome and it won't be here for long. Act now. The infomercial guru knows exactly what he's doing. He targets sidewalkers, who are magnetized to events and the big hit. Why advertise at 2 a.m.? That's when sidewalkers congregate, because they're either unemployed or watching reruns of Seinfeld. Believe me, Fastlane drivers aren't up at 2 a.m. because of some boob tube rerun, they're forging process and muscling toward their destination. Sidewalkers are ripe for swindling because they seek events and want to avoid process. When this becomes ingrained into your mindset, infomercial pitches suddenly become the evening's entertainment. Disembarking the sidewalk, the 3 anchors. Use logic. Think for a moment. If you came across a magic system that easily made millions in a few short months, what's the first thing you'd do? Of course you know, and I know. You'd hire a direct marketing firm, package your secret into 5 CDs and 1 quick start video and sell it on the Home and Garden channel at 3 a.m. on Tuesday night. Yes, that's the first thing I'd do if I had the billion-dollar secret. Screw traveling the world, forget charity, and dump the idea of making more millions. Nope. Let's package this baby and tell the world for 3 easy payments of $39.95. Do people believe the pitch or do they desperately seek the easy event? The art of selling money-making systems on TV infomercials is a strong fast lane. Unfortunately, the systems being sold aren't fast lane or as profitable as the act of selling the system itself. How do gurus get away with this madness? Easy. A sidewalker's mindset is anchored in 3 beliefs that keep them trapped there and vulnerable to money-making scams. Belief 1, luck is needed for wealth. Belief 2, wealth is an event. Belief 3, others can give wealth to me. Here is where these beliefs fail. First, wealth is not about luck but about process improving probabilities. Second, events of wealth, like lotteries and casinos, are long shots and not process. And finally, only you can deliver yourself to true wealth. There is no chauffeur and there is no money-making program sold on TV that will escort you. These deceptions keep sidewalkers anchored in good company with the majority, awake at 2 a.m. on the couch thinking they're one phone call away from making millions because TV's wealth chauffeur says so. Chapter Summary: Fastlane Distinctions. Like wealth, luck is created by process, not by event. Luck is created by increased probabilities that are improved with the process of action. If you find yourself playing the odds of big hits, you are event-driven, not process-driven. This mindset is conducive to the sidewalk, not the fast lane. Get rich quick. Infomercial marketing is a fast lane because savvy marketers know that sidewalkers place faith in events over process. Money-making systems are rarely as profitable as the act of selling them to sidewalkers. Fastlane 9. Wealth demands accountability. Responsibility is the price of greatness. Winston Churchill. Hitchhikers don't drive. One anchor to the sidewalk is to entrust your financial plan to others, to believe that there is a chauffeur to wealth and that someone else can drive that journey for you. This mindset makes you vulnerable to victimhood. Imagine if you hitchhiked across the country. There's a decent chance you'd never make it to your destination. You could climb into a psycho's car that decides to take you on an unintended detour. You could encounter a murderer who slashes your throat and dumps you in a roadside ditch. Hitchhiking is inefficient and dangerous. Yet, the Sidewalker's Manifesto is predicated on hitchhiking, faith unto others, and when things don't work out as intended, blame unto others. After faith in luck and events, blame is the third anchor to the sidewalk. Back in the late 80s, when I was a teenager, my mother chummed with friends at a local restaurant. Within that friendship circle, several of them put their life savings into an investment innocuously named the fund. These folks, some respected businessmen, raved about this investment, claiming impressive monthly returns. These friends encouraged my mother, as a struggling single mom, to invest. Mom was no dumb cookie. She asked questions and didn't like the answers. Something didn't feel right. Logic tickled her inner brain. Ultimately, she passed on the investment and it remained outside her world. Years later, the fund made headline news. An investment company had bilked millions of dollars from investors. The investment company was exposed to be a Ponzi scheme, and several swindled investors committed suicide, including the perpetrator. This investment company was none other than that great investment mother declined years earlier, the fund. The law of victims. The law of victims says you can't be a victim if you don't relinquish power to someone capable of making you a victim. When you bequeath control to others, you essentially become a hitchhiker with no seat belt. You take the passenger seat in a stranger's car, which could be murderous to your financial plan. And when that happens, you're vulnerable to joining the ranks of victims. The road to victimhood is through denial, first responsibility, then accountability. People who don't take responsibility are victims. Some of them are born victims and, instead of trying to improve their hand, they fold and give up. For them, everyone has the solution to their problems but them. And their problems? Not their fault. Nope, someone else is to blame. Instead of looking within, they look outward and project responsibility to some other entity. Victims are sidewalkers who refuse to take the driver's seat of their own lives and live under a dark cloud of theys reflective of a me against them attitude. They laid me off. They changed the terms. They cheated me. They didn't tell me. They raised my rent. They raised my interest rate. Invariably, all these theys are self-imposed. If the landlord raised your rent, is it his fault you decided to live there and you didn't read the lease agreement? If the company laid you off, is it their fault you chose to work there? Was it my fault that I was a broke 25-year-old stuck in a blizzard in a limo on the side of the road? It was. There was a recent labor union rally against Walmart from employees disgruntled with the retailer's poor wages. A 33-year-old employee named Eugene complained about his employer arguing that he spent 3 years unloading trucks for $11.15 an hour, which was below the retail industry average of $12.95 an hour. His grievance: he can't afford a car or Walmart's health insurance. Wow, how disturbing. Was someone arrested? Seriously, someone should arrest the man who put the loaded gun to Eugene's head, forcing him to work at Walmart for a below-market wage. Give this guy a bitch slap. No one forced him to work at Walmart, he works there because he chose to work there. Hey, Eugene, if you're tired of making $11 an hour, raise your value to society. Get your ass over to the library. Walmart can't offer low wages if they don't have an endless supply of victims like you. You see, when a financial advisor promises you 14% guaranteed income from a bank certificate of deposit and you later discover that he scammed you, it's your fault. You didn't do the diligence. You didn't investigate. You ignored the tickle of logic in your brain. You are a victim of your own malfeasance. The politics of hitchhiking. Sidewalking hitchhikers are a major constituency in all countries. These people seek the easy life yet want someone else to pay for it. They're lifetime hitchhikers. They believe the government, or some other entity, should do more for them. They are victims of the system. They are victims of life because life dealt them a bad hand. They vote for whatever politician promises them the world at no cost. Free health care. Free education. Free gas. Free mortgages. Wow, give me a ballot. John F. Kennedy's, "Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country," has maligned into, "What can my country do for me?" While I can't comment on the societal deterioration outside of the United States, within the last 20 years sidewalking has become a way of life in America. Americans once loyally proclaimed, "Give me liberty or give me death." Now we just say, "Give me." As I write, the economy is in a tailspin. The housing market crashed, lending dried up, and millions have lost their savings. How did we get here? It isn't complicated. We relied on others to make financial decisions for us. We ignored the fine print. We didn't read the contract. We didn't read the legislation. We made government and insurance policy. As a society, history is doomed to repeat if we continue to repeat the same behavior. I'm a minor participant in the recession. Sure, my home declined in value, but that's okay because I don't use my home as a wealth tool. Yet the gurus say, your home is your greatest investment. Baloney. When the markets crashed, I didn't lose a lot of money because the markets weren't my wealth acceleration vehicle. The fast lane is about control, and if you live like a sidewalking hitchhiker, you have no control. On a public forum in August 2005, I predicted the forthcoming housing bust and outlined my theory with 7 reasons I thought so. As it turns out, I was correct, and that truth crystallized because I chose to make financial decisions for myself. I didn't rely on the pontificators at CNBC who rapaciously declared that housing was safe. I didn't rely on the mainstream media. I didn't rely on others. I relied on me. I was driving, not hitchhiking. And the beauty of driving is something that escapes most people: responsibility. Wealth demands responsibility, followed by accountability. Responsibility is the forefather to accountability, but one doesn't evidence the other. When you admit responsibility to overdrafting your checking account yet do it again next week, you're not accountable. When you admit responsibility to fathering a child out of wedlock, yet continue to engage in that behavior, you're not accountable. When you take responsibility for having your purse stolen but flaunt it on the table in open view, you're not accountable. Accountability is being culpable to your consequences and modifying your behavior if need be to prevent those consequences. You can be responsible while not being accountable. A Fastlane forum user does a great job distinguishing between responsibility and accountability. What kills me is when people make the same piss-poor choice multiple times but then claim to be responsible. It's easy to be responsible when responsible means just walking away. I've seen single parents who pledge to be responsible for the wild oats they've sown, only to occasionally send a check in the mail. I've seen people walk away from homes, claiming to be responsible for their actions, only to buy another home they can't afford. I've seen people being responsible for the actions their drinking and driving caused only to do it again. I am sick and tired of people being responsible. I want people to be accountable. People need to think before they act. Own their choices before they make them. I am okay with people making mistakes, but freaking own that you made a mistake and learn from it. That's what true accountability and responsibility is all about. A friend of mine recently had her identity stolen. As we dined at a restaurant, she bellyached about the nightmarish ordeal. Determined to find the cause of her problem, I stopped her contempt midstream and asked a few questions. I wondered, was she a victim, or not being accountable? I asked, how did your identity get stolen? My purse was stolen in Mexico. How did that happen? I probed. I was at a restaurant and someone swiped it. Oh. Was your purse laid out, wide open on the table, like it is now? She glanced at her purse and got my point. As we dined, her purse sat on the tabletop in open view of everyone. Any thief could easily snatch her purse and run. She looked at me, scoffed, and then grabbed her purse and secured it to her lap. A victim. Or not holding herself accountable. Her problem was caused by a bad choice, the choice to not safeguard her purse. And even after this costly lesson, she still didn't understand the power of being accountable. If she were accountable to the error, her purse wouldn't lie exposed on the table as a beacon of opportunity to thieves, but safe in her lap. Immunize yourself from victimization. Stop being a victim by taking responsibility, followed by accountability. In 2006, I bought my dream home in Phoenix, Arizona, overlooking a gorgeous mountain range. The home had one of the best views in Phoenix but needed a substantial remodel. A new friend recommended a general contractor and I hired the contractor without investigation, no diligence, no reference check, no license investigation, nothing. Duh. What should have taken 8 months rotted into a 3-year ordeal, a nightmare that framed the worst decision of my life. The contractor was grossly incompetent and an idiot. Yet, I was to blame. I accepted both responsibility and accountability because I hired the contractor. To plunder a line from Star Wars, slightly modified, who's the idiot himself or the idiot that hires the idiot? But I wasn't a victim because I first was responsible, it was my fault. I allowed it to happen. Then, second, I became accountable. Now when I hire house workers, I do an investigation. Or, I could sink my teeth into being a victim and play the pity violin like everyone else. For my friend with the stolen purse, the Fastlane mindset is to take responsibility followed by accountability. Responsibility, it was my fault that my purse was stolen. Accountability, in the future, I will take precautions to ensure it doesn't happen again. Immunization for victimitis occurs when you are both responsible for and accountable to your actions and the possible poor consequences of those actions. Own your mistakes, failures, and triumphs. Reflect on your choices. Are you in a situation because you delivered yourself there? Did you err in the process? Were you lazy? Most bad situations are consequences of bad choices. Own them and you own your life. No one can steer you off course because you are in the driver's seat. And when you own your decisions, something miraculous happens. Failure doesn't become the badge of victimhood, it becomes wisdom. Deny accountability and responsibility and the keys of your life are given to someone else. In other words, take the damn driver's seat to your life. You deserve. You deserve. You deserve. The other day I heard successive radio commercials that were utterly disturbing. You don't need to be a nuclear physicist to know their target. Sidewalking victims. The first commercial was for a mortgage loan modification company. The sales pitch went like this: modify your loan and get the lower payments you deserve. The next commercial was from an attorney. Been in an accident? Get the money you deserve. The final commercial was from a credit repair company. Let us negotiate your debts down to nothing so you can live the life you deserve. Notice the common phrase. You deserve. Seriously, what do these people really deserve? Your credit sucks, you don't pay your bills on time, and you deserve a better life. Grandma rear-ends your car and suddenly you deserve a large cash award from some rich insurance company. You buy a house you can't afford and now you deserve a lower rate. How does deserving suddenly come so easy with no particular effort, like an event raining from the heavens? We're being methodically brainwashed to believe that we deserve everything without obedience to process or accountability. You deserve what your actions earned or haven't earned. Being responsible is one thing, being accountable is another. When you're accountable to your choices, you alter your behavior in the future and take the driver's seat of your life. Chapter Summary: Fastlane Distinctions. Hitchhikers assign control over their financial plans to others, which effectively introduces probabilities to victimhood. The law of victims: you can't be a victim if you don't relinquish power to someone capable of making you a victim. Responsibility owns your choices. Taking responsibility is the first step to taking the driver's seat of your life. Accountability is the final.